This is Michael Wilson. We're looking at who was Jochebed in the Old Testament. Let's do it, my friends. Jochebed was a very remarkable woman who lived in ancient Egypt during the time of the oppression of the Israelites. She was the mother of three very influential leaders. We know them as Aaron, Miriam, and Moses. Her name means Jehovah is glory, and she demonstrated her faith and courage in face of great danger, not only to her, but her whole family. So Jochebed was the descendant of Levi, one of the 12 sons of Jacob. She married her nephew Amram, who was also a Levite. They had two children, Aaron and Miriam. Before a new Pharaoh rose to power and decided to enslave and oppress all the Israelites, he feared that they would become too numerous and join his enemies in the case of war. So he ordered that all Hebrew baby boys be thrown into the Nile River to reduce their population. Imagine, imagine. So Jochebed became pregnant again and gave birth to a son. And she saw that he was a beautiful child and hid him for 3 months. When she could no longer conceal him, she made a basket of papyrus and waterproofed it with tar and pitch. She placed the baby inside and put him among the reeds along the bank of the Nile. She also instructed her daughter Miriam to watch over him from a distance. So, as God would have it, Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe at the river and saw the basket among the reeds. She sent her maid to fetch it and opened it to find the crying baby. And she felt pity for him and realized that he was one of the Hebrew children. Miriam then approached her and offered to find a Hebrew woman to nurse the baby for her. So Pharaoh's daughter agreed, and Miriam brought Jochebed, the real mother, to her. So Jochebed was then able to nurse and care for her own son until he grew older. She also taught him about his heritage and his God. Pharaoh's daughter named him Moses, meaning drawn out, because she drew him out of the water. She adopted him as her son and raised him in the palace as a prince of Egypt. Jochebed's faith and action saved her son's life and paved the way for God's plan to deliver his people from bondage. She is mentioned among the heroes of faith in Hebrews 11:23, where it says that by faith, Moses' parents hid him for 3 months after he was born because he saw that he was no ordinary child and they were not afraid of the king's edict. So Jochebed is a real example of a godly mother who trusted God and risked everything for her children. She is an inspiration for all believers who face difficult circumstances and need to rely on God's powers and his promises. And that's some mighty good news, brothers and sisters.